Hi, welcome to the Israel First television program with myself, Martin Black, and from our studios in Jerusalem. Great to have you with us. You know what the program's about. We look at the news, we have interviews from Israel, and one of the things we've talked to you before about is Israel's media war. In Israel's media war, every single portrayal of Israel is very important. One particular organization that is making a huge difference is JerusalemU and its subsidiary Imagination Productions, who produce movies about Israel. One of their movies has been shown on the Netflix channel, and they've had stars including the Big Bang Theory star Mayim Bialik and MASH TV star Elliot Gould, for those who remember the MASH TV series. Today we're very excited to have in the studio Aaron Rosenberg. Thank you so much, Aaron, for coming in, giving us your time and telling us all about JerusalemU and Imagination Productions. Aaron Rosenberg is originally from London, from the United Kingdom. He moved to Israel in 2014. He studied psychology. He served in the Israeli army as a commander, and he's also a rabbi. He's currently the business relations coordinator for JerusalemU and has been written about in the Times of Israel. So maybe you can tell us a bit. It's always interesting to hear people's stories, how they came to Israel. It's not so obvious that you would come here. So how did you make the decision to move from London, from studying psychology, to come and live in Israel?
So coming to Israel was always a dream of mine, just from learning the Bible. It's clearly the land of God, and it's something I wanted to be part of. But the actual catalyst as to why I did it was in 2014. I was already in Israel, and that was when there was a war started. 3 boys were kidnapped. I don't know if you remember the story. So, and during that time it started a whole war. The unity in Israel was incredible, and anti-Semitism outside of Israel was just soared, notably in London as well, where I was from. I was just comparing the two, the incredible unity here and then the anti-Semitism outside of Israel.
Which hasn't really changed because, and this is as we come into the studio in the news, it's got Jeremy Corbyn and anti-Semitism, the chief rabbi saying, you know, that this is not good because there's a lot of anti-Semitism in the Labour Party. So it's not really changed, really.
It hasn't changed, and that just reaffirms my decision to come to Israel.
And did you come with the family or did you come by yourself?
When I made Aliyah, my sister was already living here with her family, but I really made Aliyah by myself. Since then, my parents have come, even my grandpa. My grandpa made Aliyah at the age of 90. When he came, the papers loved it because he played with the Beatles, Eric Clapton, all these. Wow. He was a very accomplished musician. So he was called, the papers caught his story and they called him Saba Beatles, which is Grandpa Beatles. So since then, a lot of my family have come to Israel.
So the interesting thing is that you've been in Israel and you've served in the Israeli army, but now you're working for JerusalemU, Imagination Productions. You suddenly launched into the media, and hence the reason you're here today, because we met you at the premiere of one of the films that has been made by JerusalemU. So how did you get involved with JerusalemU?
So when I originally applied for JerusalemU, it was a time where we were expecting our first child. we had just finished our first year of marriage, and we went to America for a while, and I was looking for a first full-time job, and I saw a position open, applied for it. I had a friend who worked at JerusalemU at the time and put in a good word. And originally they gave me, it was just a maternity leave cover position. So it was a stressful 3 months. I worked really hard. And thank God they offered me a full-time position. So
what do you do there? You're involved with production or in the administration side? Or?
Now I'm involved in investments and relationships and partnership organizations.
So tell us about JerusalemU, because it's doing an amazing work, and you're going to want to know about this and take details down about how you can watch the movies that JerusalemU are doing. So tell us, give us a broad canvas as to what JerusalemU is.
So JerusalemU's primary mission is to strengthen the connection of young Jews with Israel and Judaism. And nowadays there's a staggering number of young Jews who don't connect with Judaism at all. And so to consider how to do something about that, how to show them what Judaism is all about, there really is only one answer, and that is through media. Media has the ability of, you can scale media very easily, you can reach hundreds of thousands of people, and let's face it, this is where young people are today anyway. They spend between 8 to 10 hours a day on their media devices. So that's where we need to be. So what we do is we make compelling media, we make inspiring stories, and we use 3 different brands or 3 different methods to reach our target audience. Method 1 is our Unpacked YouTube page. It's called Unpacked. So that's because young people are on YouTube all the time. So we need to be there too. Number 2 is Unpacked for Educators, which is really a platform for educators to provide video content and curriculum and all sorts of things that they can use in the classroom in order to enhance their lessons. And the final thing is Imagination Productions, which is feature-length films and short films telling stories over documentary or narrative.
Now, does it surprise you that that Christians, and particularly Christian Zionists, are very interested in the movies and will be watching today and want to we're going to put the information on the screen, so don't worry. That people are very interested in that. Does that surprise you at all, or?
It doesn't surprise me at all. In fact, when my wife is from Dallas, which has a very big Christian community there. So when I met with one of our supporters in Dallas, he was telling me that in America, the majority of support for Israel is coming actually from the Christian community, who are they also identify with the land of Israel and believe in the Bible. And our stories are also celebrating Israel, celebrating this amazing land. And so it doesn't surprise me at all.
Now we're going to have a look at the first movie that I've chosen for you to have a look at today. It's just a trailer. You're not going to see the movie. You're going to have to contact JerusalemU if they want to see the whole thing, how they can do that. But this is the one that Natalie and I were privileged to see. It's called Sustainable Nation. So just before we go to have a look at the trailer, maybe you can tell us a bit about the background, what the movie's about.
So the movie follows 3 different characters who are using innovative solutions to give water to a very thirsty world. 1 in 10 people don't have good water solutions, and using their technology, which is Israeli technology, these people are all living in Israel. Using their technology, they're bringing fresh solutions and fresh water to all around the world. The movie focuses on 3 different countries. There's India, and there's also in Africa, different places in Africa, and also in California. California, which despite being a first world country, is also having its own drought and own need of solutions, water solutions. So Israeli technology is helping them in America over there.
Well, I've got to say, it's an absolutely amazing movie. So we're going to have a look at the trailer. You're going to be privileged to see it, so watch this.
So a woman has to walk around 8 kilometers to look for water here. And she's carrying a baby on her back, a 20-liter jerrycan. And she doesn't even need only 1 jerrycan. She needs at least 4 jerrycans a day.
India is facing severe water problems. There is no quality water available.
All year round, you see here mainly running sewage. Along this drain, there are 6 to 8 million people living in this area. Pouring the sewage into this drain, drinking from the water that's being affected by this drain.
20 years ago, Israel was in a water crisis. Today we have a surplus of water.
יש לנו את האמצעים, יש לנו את האנשים, ויש לנו את הרצון הטוב לפתור בעיות כמו התחממות עולמית, כמו התייבשות. זה באמת בידיים שלנו, והטכנולוגיה מאפשרת את זה.
I feel like our modest contribution is taking the innovations and being able to share it and help people.
אנחנו לוקחים את הפולס של העץ, ובאמצעות מכשור טכנולוגי, לתרגם אותה לנו.
Imagine that you stand on the road over there and see over here a beautiful park. People can come here and sit inside the park that actually clean your water in the same time.
9,000 people are going to have clean water all year, all the time. They will not be searching for water anymore. It's the beginning of a new generation.
Wow, amazing, absolutely amazing. And we were privileged to see that movie when we went to Cinema City, Natalie and I, in Jerusalem, and it was a fantastic evening, and well done for all the work that you did to do that. So how is Imagination Productions helping Israeli activists? How does it practically, how can they get hold of these movies, and what's the best way for people? Because people watching today are saying, we want to show this, or what's the best way for them to do that?
All our movies can all be found on our website, imaginationproductions.com. In terms of how we're helping activists, meaning on campus or?
Yeah, they're watching today and they want to show it to maybe students or in your college group or in a small group setting. How they contact you and they can do that?
Through the website, everything. imaginationproductions.com. You can see all the films, you can see the trailers, you can learn all about the films, and you can even access the films via those platforms.
Now, one of the things that Imagination Productions and the films are doing is being on campus, and there's a battle, and we've talked about this before, the issue of the battle with BDS, college campuses. How are you finding that? Is that are campuses accepting? Are you able to get the movies there, or how does that work? Particularly I'm thinking of the United States campuses.
We had a lot of trouble with one of our films, Beneath the Helmet, on campus. We played it in University of Irvine, and it was very there were a lot of demonstrations and all of that. But we were able to turn the media on our side and make the most out of it. In terms of JerusalemU and Unpacked, we're trying to tackle BDS in a very different way. That is,
maybe I should just explain BDS, because we have these technical things we throw out, and people may not understand. BDS basically boycott diversity sanctions, is it? I think BDS. Anyway, this thing is really affecting if you, for example, you go shopping, maybe in London, and they go shopping and they see there's demonstrators outside in Israel. They're selling Dead Sea, Dead Sea things. Suddenly there's demonstrators. So, yeah, this is really an issue, isn't it, in the world? And it's an amazing work you're doing to counteract that.
Thank you. It is significantly an issue. University is supposed to be an exciting time of life, a wonderful experience, and unfortunately, young Jews are being subjected to really terrible things just simply because they're Jewish. For example, there's Israel Apartheid Week where they put up checkpoints and people receive in the middle of the night eviction notices underneath their door. And there's also people aren't allowed to join certain groups simply because they're Jewish. And it's all the BDS and other groups are a really big part of this. So what we're trying to do to tackle it, a lot of amazing organizations are doing different work to deal with this. Our specific specialty is film. And the way we're going to tackle it is we're trying to produce a series now, which is a lot of these young people don't even know why they're being attacked. They don't understand the story of the situation. And then when they hear these claims, they don't know how to respond even to themselves. So we're producing a series which is going to discuss all the complexity, the most important issues of the Arab-Israel conflict, to give young people the understanding of what it's all about before they even go to campus. And what's unique about this series is that we're not going to take a side. We're going to present multiple sides. We're going to be very open. We're going to be very, we're going to discuss very, very difficult topics. And at the end of the day, we're not going to tell the students how to think. We're not going to tell them what to think. We're not going to tell them which side to choose. And the reason is simply because which young people like to be told what to think. We're going to show them different sides, and they'll see for themselves what they believe in.
Well, I want to encourage you that there's a lot of people watching, and I know you're watching today, and you're saying well done for your work, and who are supporting Israel and really behind you. And there's a lot of people watching, and I know you want to tell him that. And I know you want all the information about Imagination Productions. Now, the film Beneath the Helmet, I watched the trailer for it. I haven't been able to watch the movie yet, but I know it's very, very interesting. So maybe you can tell us a bit about Beneath the Helmet, and we'll have a look with time. I hope there's still time, but we'll have a look at Beneath Beneath the Helmet. So maybe you can tell us a bit about that movie. What's it about?
Beneath the Helmet follows 5 young people as they prepare to go to the army. It takes them through their army service, and you see a notable change in their character as they go through the army service. It's a very inspiring film. It's a very humanizing film, and it shows the real face of Israeli teenagers as they go, and they really have to grow up through the army.
So let's have a look at this, because you're going to want to watch this, and we'll talk to you about it as soon as you've seen it.
It's not a choice to go to the army. Everyone has to serve. It's the law in Israel. This is very complicated, you know? 1 minute ago, I was with my friend at the beach. And now I'm here.
עליתי מאתיופיה לפני 8 שנים.
אביעד.
מן הסתם אמא שלי לא רוצה שאני לוחם.
My name is Oren. I'm from Switzerland. All the Israelis that met me told me that I'm crazy.
ליין ישר, ברור? כן, המפקדת! כמפקדת זה מאוד קשה להפריד בין שני העולמות.
תוך שנייה פורצת מלחמה בלי לשים לב. ויש לנו 8 חודשים להכשיר אותם, להפוך אותם מאזרחים לחיילים. נשק 60 מעלות, יש לך כדור בקנה! מה יש לכם? המשימה היא לא פשוטה, אבל המשימה היא חשובה, להגן על מדינת ישראל.
It's an amazing film, and that's just the trailer, and it was on Netflix, so I'm sure you can contact Imagination Productions and JerusalemU to find out how to watch it. Now, this is such an amazing work you're doing to show, because people don't really realize how it is in Israel. You know, for young people, in most of the world, you go through school and then you go to university, or you go into work. But Israel is quite unique, and you go first for military service. So it's amazing to see these young people whose lives have been changed.
It's very different. In Israel, military service is mandatory. It's not something which they have a choice about, and it creates a completely different culture and environment. Everyone knows that they are going to the army. And as opposed to usually young people think, okay, 18, I'll maybe spend a gap year or maybe go straight to college. In Israel, there's a 3-year service of the army, which is mandatory.
And so you've actually been in the army yourself. Are you in the reserves now, or is that a kind of period that's finished? Or?
For me, it's finished. When I made Aliyah, I was 24. And at that point, you had to do just a short service. So they put me in a Shnat Mesima program where I was a teacher. I taught students who had not really received such an education, soldiers who didn't have such an education, and they were going from the army into the workforce. So I was helping transition them in that.
Wow. And it's amazing, you know, the work of the Israeli Defense Force is amazing, because, you know, we have not so friendly neighbors on different sides of Israel. And the next trend I want to look at is how a small nation makes a big difference. And this is amazing, because, you know, the size of Israel, when you think about it, I think somebody said it was the size of Wales or something like that, or New Jersey if you're from the United States. It's a small nation, but it's making a massive difference in so many areas. And you've done this movie, how Israel, it's a small nation, but it's making such a big difference. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that one, because that also attracted my attention.
So the purpose of that film was, when people speak about Israel, it's always conflict and war. And we wanted to sidestep the whole politics and just talk about the human aspect of Israel, the real story of the Israeli society, and how a small nation makes such a big difference. Israel, which has been under threat, serious security concerns, very few natural resources, has somehow managed to become leaders in almost every field and have a significantly positive impact on the world. How did that happen? So that's what this film is all about.
And it's amazing what Israel is doing, because, the people who are coming here, different computer companies are based here, Intel and I think Microsoft and other computer companies are here and doing a lot of research. And I mean, everybody wants their research and development here, and there's also medical miracles. I think in the movie you also have the suit where people can walk again. Is that right?
That is right, and that's also Israeli technology.
Wow. This suit that you wear, it's a medical. For people who've lost, who can't walk anymore, and enables them to walk again. So absolutely amazing. So I know you're going to want to watch it. So let's have a look at this.
When people think about Israel, they think about war, or religion, or even falafel. But when I think about Israel, I think of the triumph of the human spirit. Israelis, surrounded by enemies, have turned a desert with hardly any natural resources into a flourishing, productive, and caring society.
This country has been a laboratory for solving both national and international problems since its inception.
We're creating cures for cancer, and we're trying to feed the world. We're trying to solve dependence on oil. It really goes to the heart of what being an Israeli is about.
The Israel I came back to was not the Israel I left. Israel had transformed, and I wanted to understand how this happened.
When you look around, you got sand, and you've got no oil, and you've got no natural resources. You got to start becoming creative.
And it forces you to think outside of the box.
The idea is to have a device which will enable paralyzed people to walk, climb stairs.
I never I think about I walk. Only the dream I walk.
Israel feels like a big, united family.
We want to make the world a better place, whether it's by curing diseases, whether it's by making high-tech gadgets. That's part of our mission.
When I think about Israel, I think about a country beyond the conflict, cliches, and controversy. And that's where I want it to be.
Absolutely amazing, and just thank you so much for the wonderful work you're doing with it, with JerusalemU and Imagination Productions. And I know many of you out there are already writing all this down. And if you don't manage to get it, then do email us at info@israelfirst.org, and we will send you all the information. Now, what's the future? We talk about the media and the importance of media for Israel. What do you see as the future, particularly for Imagination Productions and JerusalemU?
Our future is very, very strong. We're going to make a pivot to making more narrative films, short narrative films, with universal messages which will come out good for Jews and for Israel. Our next film is going to be about John Biggers, who was an artist in America after World War II. And his story is really quite remarkable. After World War II, he came back, very difficult time from war, and he encountered his professor who escaped Nazi Germany, and they both help each other recover through their own difficult hardships by helping each other connect with their own rich heritage. So John Biggers, he's a black man with his rich heritage from his culture, and also this professor whose name was Victor Lowenfeld from his Jewish heritage. And the message of the film is that whoever you are and wherever you're from, you should learn about your own heritage and be proud of your own heritage.
Wow, absolutely amazing. And So maybe you can, as we come to the end of the program, the people are interested in, and maybe you missed they can contact Imagination Productions if they'd like to show a movie, or they want to take this and use it in some form. There's ways they can do that, and
imaginationproductions.com and JerusalemU.org.
And if people want to support the work you're doing, they can do that via the website. They can get in touch.
Absolutely.
And really something, if you want to support Israel and you're looking for something, media is really a key. It's a key area. As I said at the beginning of the program, Israel is in a media war, and they need all the support they can. And JerusalemU you're providing some very, very good films. There's, as well as I've talked about, a Sustainable Nation. There's also Hummus the movie, which is quite humorous. Hummus is the food that one of the local dishes in Israel. When the smoke clears, Menachen, the journey of an African Jew. Fantastic story and we've talked about this with the operation to save the Jews from Ethiopia, and that's another film they've done. Crossing the Line. This is a very interesting movie, and this is even Crossing the Line 2. So I guess there must be a Crossing the Line 1 somewhere in the system. And so a lot of movies you can use, and we do recommend them because it's something. Sometimes you're in a situation where you don't know how to counteract the things you're hearing about Israel in this where you are, and this is really a resource. You're really a resource for people to be able to talk about Israel, to show a different side of Israel. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much, Aaron, for coming across, sharing about the wonderful work of JerusalemU and Imagination Productions. We really appreciate you giving us your time. And you can find out more information about them on their website. Don't forget, it's because of your support that we're able to do this program today. We love to receive your emails. You can email us at info@israelfirst.org. Visit the website, a lot of information on there, www.israelfirst.org. And remember, we're the program that looks at the land, the people, and the language.